it is my belief that oftentimes when things, well, pretty much I think every time it seems as though you're experiencing a problem or a challenge in your life, it is actually a way to do some readjusting to get you more in alignment with whatever it is you're trying to achieve. So I'm going to do a reading on what the situation you're currently experiencing is, what your perception of it is that makes it seem like a problem, and how it is actually in your favor, working things out in your favor, how it can be used to, how did I word this? How the situation is actually helping you. So part 1 is the situation, part 2 is how you perceive the situation as problematic, and part 3 is how the situation is actually helping you. Okay, so we have 3 piles. We've got an upside down feather, we've got a buffalo, and we've got a candle. If you want to go ahead and pick whichever one you want to watch. Okay, hello pile 1. So this is actually backwards from how I pulled it. I pulled all the oracle cards, and then I'm going to do tarot cards to get into it further. So for what the situation actually is, you got the monkey and the squirrel in reverse. For how you perceive the situation, you got roots. And for how the situation is actually helping you, you got owl and the feather in reverse. So just from the oracle cards, I feel like the situation you're in has to deal with you, okay, because this monkey symbolizes kind of like a high creative period and childlike curiosity and playfulness, okay? And then the squirrel is similar, but it's doing so without fear, because like the way that I think about it, based off of how it is described in the deck, is like squirrels are always bopping around and they have like a really high energy, but they're also kind of anxious. So it's similar, childlike, playful, but doing things without fear. But you have it in the reverse, which indicates doing things without thinking them through properly. So just from that, I feel as though the situation you're in has to do with you're in like a creative period, you are trying to create something, or you're curious, you're being playful about something, but you might be doing it in a way that is not extremely thought through. Let's see what the, okay. Oh, you're doing something new. You got the star. So whatever it is you're doing, you are, I feel like that's like you're supposed to be doing it. Anything else for this part? Okay. Interesting. You got the, I want to say this is the king. They have different names in this. King of Cups and the Knight of Wands, and both in reverse. So this could be 2 different energies, or it could be both aspects of yourself. So it could be you versus a different energy, or both aspects of yourself. So this Queen of Cups in reverse is going to symbolize somebody that is like emotionally insecure and maybe a little bit possessive, jealous, etc. Knight of Wands in reverse is going to be somebody who's impulsive. Actually, I feel as though there's a good possibility that they could both be whoever's watching this, because this kind of, the impulsiveness goes with this to me. And it feels as though you may be, the situation might be that you're trying to do something new without thinking it through and with like an anxious energy, and you're doing it from a place of emotional instability and you're just being impulsive about it. That might be the situation, okay? So then how are you perceiving the situation as problematic? Like what problems are you perceiving with this situation? So with the roots card, I didn't explain it. It talks about like roots, ancestry, legacy, tradition. However, I took 2 things from it just by looking at it. One, in this, that like the way that it's depicted is there's like a person in the, like trapped in the roots in the tree. So that gave me a sense of feeling trapped as well. And so this might be, it could also be very well talking about 2 separate energies, because this very much gives a feeling of being trapped. When I first pulled the oracle cards, the sense that I got was that you might be diving into literally something spiritual and doing so recklessly, not being very careful about it. And you might be like very impulsive about it, and that you're being asked to, and we'll get into that a bit more when we get over here, that you might be getting asked to ground your situation a little more, and that might feel as though you're being trapped, you're being put, like, whoever in question with this ancestry legacy is, it might feel to you as though they're essentially trapping you. The situation that you're in is one of, you're doing something new, you're doing it impulsively, you're doing it from a place of emotional instability, but with a childlike curiosity and playfulness at the same time. And the way that you're perceiving it, you might feel trapped. Like you, and let's get a little more on this trapped feeling. Like something is holding you back. 5 of Cups. Oh wait, no, 5 of Pentacles. Sorry, whenever they have different names, I always forget what's what. 5 of Pentacles. And then we got, oh, okay, 8 of Swords in reverse. Okay, so yeah, you are feeling as though you can't, you know what I think it is? I feel as though you're trying something new, you're doing something new, and you are feeling as though you can't move forward with this thing. You want to move forward, you want to move forward quickly. And you're trying to move forward quickly in a way that is impulsive and a bit reckless. And because you're not moving forward quickly, because it's like grounded, you feel as though you're trapped. You feel as though you're stuck in an energy of scarcity, of you can't have what you want. But this is ultimately, again, your perception. I mean, this is like known as the card of like being trapped in a prison of a mental prison of your own making. But that's what this reading is about, essentially, is seeing things in a way that makes you feel not necessarily trapped, but like a situation is problematic when it's not. So your perception of the situation is that you can't excel and you can't go further because you're trapped, because you're being held back, because you can't have what you want. And then let's look at the actual situation. Like, why is this helpful to you? Why is it helpful to you that you're essentially being grounded? Because that's the other thing that I got from the roots, is that you want to just fly up fast and quick, and like you have this energy of whatever it is you're trying to do, you're trying to do it super quick, and like just forego any sense of groundedness, and you're being grounded. You're essentially being told by the universe, your guides, whatever, or somebody in your life, like you're getting signs that are like, nope, chill out. They're grounding you, okay? You're grounded. And I'm saying it in the spiritual way, but it could also feel like it's in the way of like your parents grounding you when you're a kid. So that's how you feel. You feel like you're being trapped. You feel like, I think you are being grounded. Like you're being essentially pulled back to reality. Like, take a moment, breathe. And then why the situation is to help you. So with the feather in reverse, I automatically, just because it's a feather, I got like, to me, this linked up with this, and it was yeah, we're coming back down to earth. We need to be grounded. And then, you know, owls are about often wisdom, spiritual wisdom, that type of thing. However, I do want to look into them a little further, because this is a new deck for me, and I have just been utilizing this deck in such a way that whatever meaning I take from the item, it's very easy to take that meaning. But yeah, spiritual wisdom, and then we go with the feather, which is 53. Huh. So this is interesting. The reality of the situation is that this gives me vibes of you're not, because this in reverse in the deck, it talks like in the thing that explains what each card means. It talks about being out of balance, feeling negative, feeling despair. And this is talking about trusting your own intuition. So that tells me, especially going back to this Queen of Cups, the situation, emotionally unstable, reckless, and impulsive, that you're essentially being grounded because you are not allowing yourself to be in touch with your own intuition and your own feelings. Hermit in reverse. Interesting. Whoop. Two of Pentacles in reverse. I want to do one more for this one. I'm getting from the Justice card is that the situation is going to be resolved not by you, because this very much talks about like divine interference. Justice refers to like forces beyond your control making things right. And then with this Hermit in reverse and Two of Pentacles in reverse, there's something that's like calling you outside of yourself. That's like, I think you're too in your head, and there's something essentially being like, in order to get back in alignment, you're being pulled away from the situation you're going for, because in order for you to get back into alignment, it's like you have to get back in touch with reality, with the world around you. You have to get outside of your head. You have to get back in touch with things that you prioritize in the external reality, not in your head, because it seems like you're trying to do something that is very much in like the mental and emotional realm, and you're just going full force. It's a new situation. You have a lot of childlike, playful energy about it. You are perceiving it as you're being shut down. You're being trapped. Nobody's letting you play. You want to play and you're not being allowed to play. And then the way that the situation actually is that you're just not in the right frame of mind to be able to play. And the best way for you to get in the right frame of mind is, first of all, things are going to work out when they're supposed to work out, how they're supposed to work out. That's not really in your control. But second of all, in order for you to get into the right frame of mind, you have to get out of your head and start existing in the real world around you, and actually get back in touch with reality, ground yourself in reality. That's pretty much all I have for this one. Hope this was helpful. Thanks, bye. Hello, pile 2. I already pulled all the oracle cards, but they're backwards. So, 4. What is the situation? You got Village and Elephant, okay? And my first thought when I pulled Village and Elephant was it is something community-based, because elephants are super community-minded. Like, they're very attached to their family. They are very communal, you know? And village, you know, obviously that talks about community. So right off the bat, the situation has something to do with the community you are a part of and your attachment to it, I would say. And the elephant card, when it's describing what it means, it talks about acceptance, like self-acceptance, and it talks a little bit almost about like forgiving yourself. So I assume there might be some sort of conflictual energy within a community that you are deeply ingrained in. And what was interesting is that for how you perceive the situation, I pulled this card, the Stand. Courage, determination, fearlessness, and you see there's 2 beings in this card, and they're like yelling at each other. So it tells me that how you perceive a situation is potentially that you have just stood up for yourself in some way, that you have been in some sort of conflictual thing within your community, your family, whatever, what have you, some sort of surrounding community, and you feel as though you just had to like basically stand up for yourself in some way, okay? And then for how the situation, like what about the situation is helpful to you, how it is actually helpful to you, you got the Heart and the Buffalo. And I feel as though you in some way just did have to stand up for yourself. But because of the Elephant, and because the Elephant talks about almost like forgiving yourself for the past, I feel as though even though you might have the energy of I just stood up for myself, you might have some sort of like guilt about the fact that you stood up for yourself. And or you like the guilt might be subconscious, because with this Heart, I'm getting this sense that there might be an imbalance in how you express your disagreement. Like, you might express your disagreement in a way that is not who you are as a person. You might have been like too harsh from your standpoint. You might have guilt over it, and you might have like some sort of heart awakening about how to be able to be the real you, how to be able to stand up for yourself while also remaining understanding and compassionate about the other party. So I'm going to pull some cards and get a little deeper into this, even though I feel like I just gave a lot of information based off of, well, that's interesting. I'm just gonna boop. 7 of Swords. Okay, so like somebody might have tried to pull one over on you. Somebody in your community might have tried to pull one over on you. You're confused about it though. Like you don't know if they actually were trying to pull one over on you. You have a lot of emotions about the situation. Or you don't know how you feel about it. You might know that they actually did pull you over and you're just not too sure how you personally feel about it. That's the situation you're in. And I feel like that's enough for this. So the situation you're in, you've had some sort of, there's a community, you know, be it your family, be it your neighborhood, be it your friendship community, your work community, whatever it is. It's some community that's very important to you, there's a mutual support system there, and there has been some sort of conflict. And either you are completely aware that somebody tried to pull one over on you, tried to trick you in some way, and you're just confused about how you feel about it, or you are not sure if they intentionally tried to pull one over on you. But regardless, there was a conflictual situation in which somebody did have some sort of tricky energy and you're confused about it. That's the situation. Now, how you perceive the situation, you defended yourself in some way. That probably, you know, one came out and it was temperance in reverse and it like flopped into my hands and I just threw it back and then I was like, no, that's important. So I'm literally gonna find it because there it is. Okay, you got temperance in reverse. It just felt really important. It flopped into my hand and I didn't mean it to. And then I looked at it and I was like, but it was after, it was like while I was shuffling, I looked at it and it got flopped somewhere else. And I was like, I actually needed that. Okay, so you stood up for yourself. You defended yourself in some way. I hope I didn't fuck that all up. You defended yourself in some way and you feel, oh, interesting. You feel as though it was out of balance. You feel as though you took it too far or it was taken too far in some way. You didn't act like yourself. Something about this Ace of Pentacles. I would like to know a little more about this Ace of Pentacles. Well, that's just interesting. Yeah, you just feel like you took it too far, whatever the conflict was. And then this came out like sideways. Yeah, you're not happy about the disharmony that you caused. So then why is this situation actually for your benefit? Like, how is it actually helping you? And again, there's something here already before the cards even come with opening your heart, with being able to get more in touch with your emotions and the person you're dealing with emotions, but on the same token, being able to get more in touch with the true you, your authentic expression and feelings. So there might be something with you feeling afraid to express yourself authentically. This is one. That's the Hierophant. So the way that I immediately wanted to take this is that the person might be somebody you look up to. And that's probably why you're experiencing confusion, because it's somebody that you look up to and like you feel as though you can't, like, how could you know more than they know? Or how could you be correct in the situation? Because like, but there's this thing that's happening where you're realizing that like when it comes to you, because I think this is something that had to do with yourself, your expression, your feelings, your emotions, that you can't really be wrong. There's like not a right and wrong. But I think that the situation is you're confused because it's somebody you see as some sort of authority figure or teaching type figure who has, you see them as having more wisdom than you. And this is working out in your favor. Yeah, how that's interesting because I mean that's just like clear cut the success card. How is this working out in your favor? More about the Six of Wands, please. How is this working out in your favor? Hello. What? And then we got the Two of Cups. Okay, so how is that in the favor? You know, okay, I'm just going to... Let's do this. I'm going to do one more about this Six of Wands, Two of Cups. But what I'm getting initially off the bat is that the reason that it's working out in your favor, the disagreement works out in your favor, is because it's going to end up... How did this come into my head? Because stuff comes into my head and it's not in words, and then I have to scramble for words. But it's essentially the disharmony is causing you... It's going to end up causing you to come into more harmony, because you're going to have to reflect on your own feelings, the other party's feelings, and your authentic expression of that, and how to do that in a balanced way. Damn. I hate when two fall and they fall really far away from each other because then I have to go like this. It's this one. What? That's crazy. Now, how in the absolute shit is this in this person's favor? Okay? We did success. We did, like, so you're like, okay, me yelling at the spirit homies. I'm sorry, this is the thing that happens. Whoever's fucking answering is like, yeah, you're gonna reflect on your, this is gonna cause you to reflect on your emotions and your authenticity and your expression and come into more balance, okay? And then it's like, it's gonna cause a successful situation. And then it's like, disharmony, bad luck. How the fuck is disharmony and how the fork is disharmony and bad luck a successful situation? Holmes, whoever's answering me, also thank you for answering me. I don't know, I feel like it's this one. You've got to be fucking shitting me. I'm done with this for now. We're gonna switch up the vibe a little bit. If you don't know about tarot, that's also very bad. It's also very bad. Not very bad. It just means disharmony yet again. How is fucking disharmony and bad luck success? How is disharmony and bad luck success? Please, can we get a clear, honest answer? How is disharmony and success and bad luck successful? Like, this is, come the fuck on. And then we just got 10 fucking cards that come out. Okay. What's this one? Now, okay. All right, the vibe I'm getting essentially is that your disharmony, first of all, I feel like you want there to be harmony, because looking at, first of all, the Wheel of Fortune in reverse and the clock in reverse, I don't know what it specifically means in this deck. Let's find out, because I just bought it. But when I look at it, I go, oh, you're trying to rush. You're trying to control. Yeah. No, that's a compass. 59. I'm reading it upside down. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you're trying to rush, you're trying to force harmony, you're trying to force a situation. But I think that this period of disharmony is actually in your best interest and is leading you to, like, forcing you to pull yourself inward, essentially. Like, it's forcing you to self-reflect, to get to a point where you feel more comfortable in your own skin, expressing yourself, expressing your emotions, and you don't feel like there's some sort of like power dynamic thing here that may or may not be of your own making. I don't know, like you might just think somebody's better than you, but it's not true in all reality. But your perception is that they're better than you, and that's why, or they're smarter, or they're whatever, they have more authority. And that's why you feel awkward and uncomfortable being your, like, expressing your truth. But I think that inevitably the period of, and it is with, like, I feel with the Wheel of Fortune and with the clock, it is a time period. It is not forever, but you are experiencing disharmony, and it is eventually going to lead you to a period of success because you will be, like, more in touch with yourself, more willing to stand in your own power. Okay, that's all I have for this one. Thanks so much. Hello, pile 3. I already pulled the oracle cards, but they're backwards. So we have for this, what is the situation? We got fox and we got the cave, okay? For how do you perceive the situation? We got visionary, confidence, passion, self-worth. And for how, but this is so strange because this is supposed to be how do you perceive the situation as problematic when it is actually in your best interest. And then how is it actually in your best interest? And we got bunny and the candle. And I actually don't remember which way that came. So let's do this a couple times. I'm going to say sideways. It's sideways. Bunny and the candle. Okay. So for what is the situation? There is something with shadow work, because the cave talks about going into the shadow to discover your treasure, going into the cave to discover your treasure. So there's something, or rather something about going inward for self-discovery. And let's look at this fox again. Yeah, so the situation is you're doing some self-discovery. You're pretty curious right now. You are looking into something. And let's get more information. Okay. Chart in reverse. Interesting. Okay, what I'm immediately getting from this is that I'm not getting, like, there might be a chaotic energy, but I'm more so getting you're not making forward movement. You're curiously looking within to discover. You're doing some serious self-discovery. It might be a little chaotic, but I don't get, like, a sense that it's, like, bothering, like, it's, like, causing, although then we get this one. Feeling overburdened, overwhelmed, taking on too much for yourself. Too many responsibilities. Interesting. Okay. Oh, wow. This lady's thick. Yeah. And then a Knight of Pentacles. And the Knight of Pentacles is literally like watching out for people's physical security. So the situation is you're self-reflecting. You're curious. You're learning. You are in a bit of chaos, confusion. No, not confusion. Just it's a little chaotic and you feel overwhelmed. There's something with protecting, being burdened with responsibility. But, like, I don't understand how that's connected. How is being burdened with responsibility or feeling, maybe, okay, this is what I'm thinking it is. I think that you are reflecting on your nature of feeling overburdened with responsibility to others. You're reflecting on that part of yourself. Yeah, you're done with that part of yourself. You're done with the part of yourself that feels overburdened. But you're in like a weird period of time, because this also talks about like you're transitioning to something better, but the place you're in right now is already good. Or you have like a fondness for the place that you're already in. So I feel as though there's a part of you that really resonates with being some sort of like if not a protector, somebody to lean on, or somebody to, like, you like being needed, okay? And you might be releasing a little bit of codependency in the sense that you enjoy being, like, you have some part of your personality is coded in being needed, but you're done with that part of your personality, but you're just like a little bit having a bit of a hard time letting it go. But at the same time, you are you're curious and you're like willing. I don't sense from the situation that you're experiencing like a ton of resistance. I think that you're conscious of the fact that you're doing conscious self-reflecting and that you're done with this part of yourself and with this phase of your life, and that you are ready to overcome this part of yourself that wants to be needed in some way, that overburdens yourself with other people's problems. So then, for how you're perceiving the situation in a way that is problematic, we have visionary, confidence, passion, and self-worth. And see, when I pulled this card, I was thinking that it was going to have more to do with creating something because of the pattern of the oracle cards. But now that like we got some tarot cards, that's what's so fun about picking the oracle cards first and then getting the tarot cards later, is now that we have some tarot cards, I don't think it's about you trying to create something. I think it's about you realizing that whatever this aspect of you that like feels like you need to be like needed in some way, or you need to be useful in some way, has to do with self-worth. And you're learning to separate it from your self-worth. Hold on. Yeah. Queen of Cups in reverse. We're not going to do that one. You are perceiving yourself as emotionally insecure, as emotionally unstable. So I think what's interesting about this is that like the situation itself doesn't, to me, scream, this is a deeply painful situation. There's something about it that has an air of like playful curiosity to it. But I think your perception, what you're leaning on right now, how you're perceiving it, is emotional insecurity. That's like all you're seeing out of this. You're not seeing that you're just, right now you're purging. You're in a situation where you're purging a past part of yourself that no longer is going to be a part of yourself. And we have the, you know, I don't know in this deck which is the fucking queens and which is the kings. It's like you can call a girl or a they a king, and you can call a boy or a they a queen. I don't understand why they had to do this, okay? I would love it if somebody called me king, okay? Anyway, so Queen of Cups, then this has to be the King of Wands in reverse. Interesting. So you can take this as two separate energies because it could be different for different situations. Or you can take it as two aspects of yourself, whichever is more resonant for you. But your perception of the situation is that you realize you're having issues of self-worth, and all you're experiencing is insecurity. Oh no, yeah, this is the queen and this is the king. So king. The only reason I remember is because the Queen of Wands has a really hot elf person with sunflowers, and the Queen of Wands, like in most decks, has sunflowers. So this has to be the King of Wands. So I think you're experiencing, your perception of the situation is that you're having self-worth issues, you're having emotional insecurity, and you are like experiencing a lot of, I don't want to say necessarily manic energy, but it's like a lot of high energy that isn't, it's not great. That's your perception of the situation. It's not fun for you to experience. It's a lot of high, well, that's fucking interesting. That's forking interesting. Oh, I forgot I pulled this too. I pulled that and like I forgot because I was looking up if this was a queen or a king. I don't, And see, like, I don't remember what the third, I'm pretty sure the third tarot card is the Empress. Yeah. Okay. So there's something with your perception of the situation where, you know what? I'm going to put these are like a transition. That's what I'm thinking. Because I think that your current perception is that you are in a period of time where you're like really dealing with emotional insecurities and that it's problematic. But in reality, what is happening is the situation is you're purging a part of yourself that is like a little bit codependent and overburdened, but you're realizing that, well, your perception of the situation, oh, interesting. That's problematic. You're focused on your self-worth. Yeah. So the thing that you think is problematic about the situation is your self-worth. And your emotional instability. Fucking, how is it helpful? How is it helpful? How is it helping you? And what I noticed when I pulled these cards is that the situation and what's helpful about the situation both have a flame in them. I like patterns like that. So both of them have like this thing of discovering some sort of truth, as the Ace of Swords has, discovering some sort of truth. Some sort of truth is just like going to appear for you. Okay, so when I pulled the bunny, the first thing that obviously comes to my mind is symbolically is like fertility and creation, which is interesting because we have the Empress here, fertility and creation, creating something, a creative force. And then we've got something appearing out of nowhere. So there's something here about like what is helpful about this situation is that some sort of clarity is coming to you. You are in the midst of creating something. This card specifically talks about truth, clarity, changing your perception, opening yourself up to other points of view. So I think the situation you're in a period of purging this part of yourself that has to do with feeling overburdened, feeling like you have to be there for others in some way. Your perception of the situation is that you're dealing with self-worth issues and it's problematic. But the actual situation, and here we have, because these are the two I get confused about because they all have to have different flipping names. So this is Empress, this is High Priestess. Yeah, what's actually happening, why this is not problematic but actually in your benefit, it doesn't look like has a lot to do with self-worth issues, although you might be having some self-worth issues. What is in your benefit is that like you're somehow becoming more creative. You are, it's like you're learning to tap into your intuition. It's like you are learning to, I want to say like separate the BS from you. So it's like okay, yeah, that makes sense. So it's like as you're releasing this codependency situation, you are like, you're purging this feeling that you need to be needed or whatever you need to, like, however you want to say it. It's a situation in which you feel as though in some way you want to be needed or something, or you feel like you have to be there for people. And as you're purging this, like, you are separating other influences from your own intuition, from your own creative force. And that's going to bring you clarity. It's going to bring you the answers, like whatever is confusing about, is this my energy or is this other people's energy? That's going to go away because you're purging the need to even care about other people's energy. And you're getting into your own creative and intuitive energy and your own mental clarity. That's what's happening right now. You're perceiving it as self-worth issues, but it's actually just you're expelling the part of you that cares about other people's expectations. So because you're expelling and purging the part of you that cares about other people's expectations, it's bringing you to your own clarity, intuition, and truth. I think that's all I have for this one, so I'm going to stop it here. Thank you so much.